Hello. I am making cornbread dressing. I've already prepared my cornbread. I made my cornbread. I'll put the recipe in the comments. The cornbread was made with 2 cups of self-rising cornmeal, 1 cup of flour, 2 eggs, 2 cups of buttermilk. Whisk it together real good, and then I put in 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of oil in my cast iron skillet. Heated it up. The oil was put in there just to make sure that the butter don't brown, but I wanted to have that buttery flavor. And then I poured the mix into the pan, heated the oven, preheated the oven at 350, baked the cornbread for 25 minutes. Everything came out golden brown and perfect. However, with your oven, you may have to adjust it depending upon how your oven heats up. And then once I took it out, I cut the cornbread up in little blocks, laid it open on the on a cookie sheet, a baking sheet, and put it back in the oven at 350 for about 15 minutes, about 10 minutes. I think it was about 10 minutes. Let it kind of get a little crispy, toasty like. Bring it out. That's just to take some of the moisture out of it, because I had, see, it's like this. It's dry. It's nice and dry and crunchy. Um, just to take, what is it?
Need to go to the cleaners.
Okay, just to take the moisture out of it. I'm sorry, guys. When you have people in the house with you, that's what happens. So just to take the moisture out of the bread, because I'm going to add in some hen broths that I made from a hen. I've already shredded the hen meat up, the dark and the white meat up on top of the cornbread. And I am about to, I'll lay and I have this. I don't know if I get this from HEB. I call it the Holy Trinity, but it has more in it than the Holy Trinity. It has chopped onion, celery, bell pepper, green onion, and garlic. But if you don't have it, the Holy Trinity really is the bell pepper, onion, and celery. Okay? And this, I add this in at the beginning of it. I put in about I put in a half a pound of butter. I like Land O'Lake, but it's up to you. Whatever butter you like, use what you like. Today I'll also be making a seafood cornbread dressing. Okay, and with my seafood cornbread dressing, I usually I'm gonna put in a half a pound of butter in this, because this is a big pan. See, guys, this is the big roasting pan. So I'm gonna put in the Land O'Lake with the little. So that's one. That's 4 tablespoons. 8 tablespoons. 12. It's gonna be 6 tablespoons. Okay, and it's the salted butter. All right, and this is the last one. Okay, so we're adding in the butter. You can see that the butter is in there. I've added it in. Make sure I get all my butter off. Okay, can you guys see that? Get all the butter off and put it on there. Because my mother she always said butter makes it better. So, and I boiled my hen, and as you can see, I have 6 boiled eggs. I'm only going to use about, because I used a whole one of these, so I'm only going to use about the second one, because there's a lot of it in there. Half a teaspoon. I'm only going to use a half a teaspoon of this mixture, because I've already used a whole one in here. Okay, not a half a teaspoon, a half a cup. I'm sorry, guys. Just a half a cup. Okay, let's put that down up in there. Make sure you get it all in there. Don't waste not, won't not. Okay. Telling you guys, I washed my hands before, but I believe you keep dishwater going and you wash your hands all throughout while you're cooking. That makes for a safe cooking. Okay. All right. So I put my butter in. I put my mixed vegetables in. So now I'm going to kind of cut this up a little bit. Can you see that? Cut that up a little bit and try to fold that meat and the bread in together. Yeah, that butter. The butter is at room temperature because I like to cook it that way. I have my butter sitting out for room temperature because when I'm baking, the best way to bake your when you're baking is not to get your butter straight out of the refrigerator and cook with it. It's better to, you see how this folds over? It's better to have it room temperature when you're baking, especially when you're baking. Use room temperature. So here we go. I'm about to put in the broths. I'm using a 1 cup measuring spoon. I'll bring it over a little bit so let's stir it up a little bit. And if you can see the broth has all of the vegetables floating around inside. So when you see me pouring it, you'll see it come out. So it's probably going to take about 8 cups. That's 2. Okay. 3, 4, let's see, 5, 6, 7, and this is cup number 8. I didn't quite get a full cup, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. Okay. The butter is in there, guys. This is going to be amazing. So then you go in and you kind of mix it up a little bit. See, I don't have my rings on. I should take my bracelet off. I don't have rings on because I don't like to, when I'm cooking, to get food inside my rings. My rings all mixed up in there. And I haven't been wearing my rings a lot during this pandemic. Only because I'm washing my hands so much and I'm touching so many different things until it's just way too much to deal with. And I used the meat from a medium-sized hen is what I boiled with the medium-sized hen with bell pepper, onion, celery, a whole container of this, and then I put in the broth. I used the Better Than Bouillon garlic and the Better Than Bouillon vegetable. I used a tablespoon of each in the broth. And this is what it looks like. This is the Better Than Bouillon roasted garlic and the Better Than Bouillon vegetables. Okay, it's called Better Than Bouillon seasoned vegetables and the roasted garlic. I received no monies or anything from I'm just telling you what I use. Okay, guys. And I don't know if you guys have, that's why I told you the mixture that is in the bell pepper, onion, and celery, because I use a whole one of these, so that's like 3 1/3 cup of vegetables mixed in together. Just kind of balance it out I just buy it like that because it's less work for me when I'm cooking, because I have a I have a full-time, have a lot on my plate, so that's one less thing I have to deal with. And I really don't want to use frozen in my dressing. I have, when the rubber met the road, I have. However, for this, I don't want to. I want you guys to see something else. Look how it starts mixing, how the mixture gets real good. Let's see if we can make this bigger. Look how it start mixing together really good. Okay, I'm trying to make sure you can see it all. There we go. And let's just mix it all in together. And if you can see, the cornbread is starting to absorb all of that liquid. I put in 8, really 9 cups of broth in there, and it is beginning to drink up that broth. When you would think that that was a lot of broth, and I dried the bread out so that the bread could take in more broth. And you want it to mix up real good. Some people don't like to disturb the bread a lot. You know, you do it whichever way. You keep testing and trying and see which way works best for you. For me, I like mine mixed up real good. I like the flavor. I don't like to bite into my cornbread dressing and get a lump of just bread. So after you get it mixed up like that, I go in, wash my hands again. Even though I wash my hands, I'm gonna wash them again. Wash my hands again. I know during this pandemic, those paper towels are going real fast, but I've been able to stay ahead of it and keep enough paper towels in, because I like to mix mine together. And most people, you might not agree with it like this, and some people wear gloves. Well, I'm only feeding the people in my household, and nobody have gotten sick or anything. We've all staying well, but I like to, this is the way I was taught how to do it, is to get in and really make sure that it's mixed in there real good. It's like mixing up a meatloaf. You know how you have to get, you really have to get in there and mix that meatloaf up. And I'm mixing it up so it'll be nice and all mixed up. You don't want to have, like, see, you got a piece of cornbread right there. You want to kind of let it and mix it up real good. Now you can do it and mix it however you want to, as long as you get it mixed up where that bread is not, you're not gonna bite into it and just get a piece of bread and that's it. I like to put a lot of meat in mine because I like meaty dressing. Some people don't, and I'm okay with you not liking it like that, and I'm okay. But this is the way my mama liked a lot of meat in her cornbread dressing. And so I'm excited about that. I'm also having a good time because every year since I was 17 years old, I used to get on the phone with my mom from the time I was 17, and that would have been in 2002, 2001. From 1981. From 1981 until 2007, every year I would get on the phone with my mother and we would cook cornbread dressing together on the phone. We would cook our whole Thanksgiving meal together on the phone. Because I've been on my own since I was 17, been away from home since I was 17. And so every year we would cook either on the phone or we'd be together and we would cook our Thanksgiving meal together. See that consistency, guys? It's real good. I wish you could smell it. It's full of meat. And so now that I got this all mixed up together real good, and we're not gonna have no bread, not no hunk of bread in there nowhere, because I dried it. I dried the bread so that it'll pick up that broth real good. Okay, let me wash my hands again. So it's always important that when you're in the kitchen, make sure you keep your hands clean, okay? And that's why you saw that because I have this bracelet on and I can't take it off right now, that's why I only use one hand to mix the dressing up with. Only one hand. Because I did not want to get my the charms on my bracelet caught up in that food, or vice versa. Okay, now you saw that I put in what was it, 16 tablespoons of butter, and I am going to, at the very end, I'll melt this one down and put this 2 more. And so you're gonna add in the remainder of this. You guys, I probably should measure it so that you'll know how much it is. So let me do that. I keep over to the side dishwater, and I rinse out my dishwater, and I rinse off everything. I keep dishwater over to the side because it's just my upbringing. I'm gonna try to measure this so we'll know how much we put in. 9, now 10, and 11. Okay, so that was 11 cups of broth. But that's the broth that was boiled, that I boiled the, that's the broth that I boiled the hen in. I made the broth from the hen, okay? I always like to keep a clean section, clean space. If you're working in a clean space, you're in a better shape, okay? To continue to work in a clean space. You don't have to worry about nobody getting sick or anything when you work in a clean space. And watch your temperatures of your foods. Okay. Now, now we're gonna mix this up in here. You want it to be a little loose because it's got to bake. Okay? You want it to be a little loose because it has to bake. Now this, I am about to add, what is this? A 1/4 cup. No, a 1/4 pound of butter. Okay? 1/4 pound of butter. Just add a little bit more. You don't have to do the butter. You can use your margarine if that's what you use. You can use, I've even made this with the vegan butter and it came out really, really good. And when I did it with the vegan butter, I had to use a different, I had to do a whole lot of different when it came to the broth. I used vegetable broth. I used a vegetable broth in here. Okay? You see how you can stir it up? It almost like in the consistency of cornbread. Alright? And the last thing I'll do is cut up my egg in it. Okay. Take my eggs and cut them up in there. So you cut your eggs up. I don't tell anybody to chop like I do. I've been cutting eggs up since I was about 8 or 9 years old. And I haven't cut myself yet. However, if you might need to get the chopping board to cut. Because everybody can't cut like this. Okay? I'm telling you, this is not what I recommend. This is just what I've been doing for 40 some years. So you cut the eggs up, and I am going to cut. Actually, I'll cut up 4 eggs in here. The other 2 eggs, the other 2 boiled eggs, I will use them for my giblet gravy. Yeah. Yep. See that? So you got your eggs in there. I keep my dishwater running too. I keep my dishwater, hot water. I keep my dishwater because I don't like to leave dishes out. I like to clean as I go. So then you stir that in. Stir that boiled egg in there real good. And if you don't want boiled egg in yours, you don't have to put it in there. And guys, one last thing that I do, I am not going to bake this right now. I'll bake it in the morning, tomorrow morning. Oh, I think I saw a bone. Because I deboned the hen, but sometimes you get caught with a bone. Somebody gonna get a bone in their cornbread dressing tomorrow. And I'm doing this in this big pan. I'm actually going to put it in smaller pans. Let's see. Let me see. I'm going to actually bake it. Yeah, I'm actually going to bake it in a smaller pan because I'm making dressing not just for my household. I'm making dressing not just for my household. I'm making dressing for a few of the members of the church. Okay, see this pan? I am going to, I'm making dressing for just a few people in the church that unfortunately were not necessarily taught how to do it. So this is an 11 3/4 inch by 9 3/8 inch by 2 3/8 inch pan. Okay, so I am going to scoop this in here. So this is not for just my household. We at Impact World Center Ministries in the church, we make sure that everybody eats. And some people just don't know how. Unfortunately, some people really just don't know how. And since they don't, you know, we gotta find ourselves in a place where we're still helping and taking care of our sister and our brother. Amen. Just making sure we're taking care of our sister and our brother. I got a little small pan too. So we're making sure that I had some, the smaller pans, the one that I'm putting the dressing in now. This is a pan that I had already prepped. Let's see. So you put enough in there, you know, to do some good. So my grandmother used to say, she say, send me enough to do some good. Yeah. If you're going to do something for somebody, do something good. Do enough to do some good. Okay? So that's the cornbread dressing. Nice and pretty. I like to kind of bury my eggs because when it's baking, the eggs tend to get hard. When it's like you drying it out, it tend to get hard. I like to leave them down up in the cornbread dressing. Down up in there. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be nice. Whew. Okay. So that's one pan. This is one pan. Let's set it right here. Let's do this. Let's do the second pan. Okay. So this is the second pan. Okay. And right before I cook the dressing, I've been taught to do it it's 3 different ways. One is right before I cook it, I for this size, I would beat 2 eggs and then fold that beaten egg into it. Okay? Yeah. But for Lord Jesus. Okay. That'll be it. So this is the second one, and what I'm doing now is I'm just going to put it in the actually I need to bake this one because again I say everybody don't the young lady that I'm making this pan of cornbread dressing for, the young lady I'm making this pan of cornbread dressing for, she's very busy. Unfortunately, she's working 2 jobs today, and she has to go and go through dialysis. So I'm not going to put her in a position where all she's going to have to do is just heat it up. She'll actually get a whole meal. I've already cooked her mustard greens, and she used smoked pork bones, or some people call them neck bones, the smoked neck bones, and so I use that in there. I put in, I think it's like a pound of smoked neck bones. What else? Tablespoon of brown sugar. What else did I put in there? My regular Cajun seasoning and the greens. Oh, and I used chicken broth. I used chicken broth. 4 cups of chicken broth. And just cooked it in the Instapot. And it came out really good. Guys, I'm excited. So this cornbread dressing is for the young lady that's in the church, and then the other 2 are for someone else. And I'll be back to make the seafood cornbread dressing, which I'll be making the same cornbread that I gave you the recipe for, and I am boiling some the shells from the shrimp. After I clean the shells, then I'm boiling the shells from the shrimp to make my broth, and I'm putting in again some of the Holy Trinity, some butter, some Cajun seasonings, and letting that boil. And then I have I'm gonna saute some shrimp. I think I have, it's a pound. Where is it at? Where's the shrimp? I don't even see it right now. Well, I do have it. I have a pound of shrimp, and I am putting in a pint of I think I'm gonna use a half a pint of crab, lump crab, probably the whole pint. I think it's like this size of lump crab, and I'll fold that over into that using that broth. And I still add a little chicken broth to mine, and I think there's another one, cream of something. When I come back and I actually do the recipe, I'll show you guys everything that I am putting on the inside of it. And we still have a little left, so what I'll do is I'll put that in a small pan and bake it. And I know a senior citizen couple that I can, I'll put a Cornish hen on top and put make them a small pan, put a small bowl of greens and some dirty rice and some candy yams and what else? Oh, the broccoli. No, not the dirty rice. They'll get the broccoli, rice, and cheese casserole, because they happen to love that. I think they do get the dirty rice because they requested it. And we're doing the candy yams, and then I'm cooking for our household collard greens. So we're gonna have collard greens for tomorrow, and I have some cream peas. So I'll cook some cream peas, and once they're done, I'll lay a few whole okras, baby okras, on the top. Maybe about 8 or 9 baby okras on the top, and that we'll have that in the I think we're having, because my husband loves turkey. Unfortunately, he's the only one that really likes turkey, so we're gonna do him some turkey parts, and we'll have a ham. I wanted to do, I might even do a pork one. I don't know, y'all. We'll see. I've already made the sweet potato pies. I may come back and show you guys how I made how I make the 7-Up cake and the strawberry cake. Strawberry cake is really easy. You just make a regular pound cake, a pound cake from scratch, and you just slice up some strawberries, and on the side, slice up some strawberries, put a little lemon juice in on top of them, and some sugar, and let the sugar draw the flavor out of it. And then sometimes I'll cook mine down into like a little mini syrup and let it cool, and fold that mixture into a regular pound cake, and that gives it that pinkish red color. So then it's a strawberry cake. And then I use some of the syrup that I cooked all the way down to I make a heavy whipping cream with some what I use, heavy whipping cream, a can of condensed milk, and a little vanilla flavor, and then I add in the rest of that strawberry syrup, and then that is my icing. Sometimes I even add in a little Philadelphia cream cheese to thicken it even more. So you guys, looking forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye, guys.